It's Friday. That means it's time to check in on what's happening in the Sunshine State. It's our segment, Florida Report.
It's not even controversial anymore.
People know in Florida their freedoms are going to be respected.
And joining us is our Florida-based correspondent, my sister Miranda. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, I just realized my half-eaten banana was showing. Trying to hide my half-eaten banana. I'm not desperate enough for clicks yet that I'll eat this banana on camera. Maybe in a couple months. Okay. All right, what do you got?
The first one I have for you guys today is off usatoday.com. Veterans can now teach in Florida with no degree. School leaders say it lowers the bar. Last week, the Florida Department of Education announced that military veterans, as well as their spouses, would receive a 5-year voucher that allows them to teach in the classroom, despite not receiving a degree to do so. It's a move tied to the $8.6 million the state announced would be used to expand career workforce training opportunities for military veterans and their spouses.
I thought it was interesting reading this, that there's so many people bemoaning it, like, oh, it's going to lower the standards. And I get that. But aren't you guys dealing with like a severe, I mean, a lot of states are, teaching crisis or a teacher shortage?
Absolutely. And I honestly, there's not been a year that has gone by that I haven't heard about a teacher shortage crisis, a teacher, like obviously all teachers are underpaid. But like I hear about all the time here in Florida. They always, and I have friends who are teachers that say the same thing, that there's a shortage. And I actually feel like this solution does a lot of things. You know what I mean? Because I also feel like it would boost morale in schools, just being closer to our military personnel as it is. I think there's a huge disconnect in our country, period, when it comes to like citizens and military. I think it would create a safer environment, at least like in just like a general sense of knowing that there's military personnel, even if they are veterans. Like that's not a police officer, it's not a security guard, it's something entirely different. And I think that that's just, there's multiple solutions here. I think not just solving the shortage of teachers,
Well, I also heard there was some school board members who were like, well, you're just going to send all of these, not certified teachers to the poor school districts. I think they should send them to the rich school districts. So you've got former military members who are like keeping the rich brats in line, teaching them some love of country.
I think across the board, everybody could use a little more exposure to like military personnel. And I also I don't ever want to feel like I'm discrediting teachers. I think they have a very difficult job, but I do think that there's more than enough opportunity for people to walk into that, like with just life experience and as a functioning adult and be able to follow a curriculum, even if they're not completely trained in that category of teaching. I can't see anything wrong with it. I searched, but I can't find a problem.
Well, and it's not as if they're just pulling whatever veteran off the street. They do have to have, they don't have to have a degree, but they do have to have like a certain number of college credits and like a certain GPA. Is that correct?
That's correct. There's requirements in addition to like having at least 48 months of military service. They also need to be, discharged honorably or because of medical reasons. And then they also there is an educational standard that needs to be met before they're just going to let these people come in and teach your children in schools. So it's not, I don't think it's as loose as people might think it is out the gate.
Yeah. All right. Story number 2 today, the case of the disappearing house.
Yes. Leave it to Florida to, just your house is missing. Local10.com. Urgent search after Florida family's home was stolen. Florida deputies are working a bizarre mystery. A family's home was stolen. A moving company left a single wide trailer that they had ordered in a apparently very agreed upon place. And thieves jumped into action and rolled off with it. And now they can't find it. A whole home.
I mean, you can't hide a house very well, so they've got to find it.
I was thinking about it. I'm like, somebody knows where this house is, but it's a pretty standard looking mobile like trailer home. So, I don't know. I'm sure if your friends showed up with a house, maybe you should call the authorities.
Well, and I don't think homes have VIN numbers. So if it's some standard like mass produced house, you could be like, prove it. This is my house.
It's true. This is probably going to kick in some new VIN number needing on these small homes that can be moved away with a trailer, because this family's looking for it. They're offering a cash reward and there's literally no leads. So
Yeah, I shouldn't laugh because if your house is stolen, I mean, it's incredibly serious. But now I just feel like this gives, I mean, everything is being stolen these days. So now I feel like this gives thieves another idea. Like, oh, there are houses we can hook up to a trailer and just steal a whole house.
absolutely. And the housing market, it's pretty tough out there. So it is a hot commodity. So I don't know. Like you said, there's no VIN number. So they're going to slap some paint on it and resell it on Facebook Marketplace. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, why would you burglarize a home to get the things in it? Well, you just take the whole home and then get everything in it.
That's very Florida.
Okay, what do you got for us to round out the day?
To round out the day, Fox 13 Tampa Bay is reporting families in Florida begin receiving $450 checks from the state. Thousands of Florida families will begin receiving at least one $450 check from Governor Ron DeSantis. I don't like when they say that kind of stuff, like they're like Ron wrote a check from his personal account.
It's our money.
He did decide to use the leftover funds from the CARES Act that we had been getting from the federal government during COVID. They gave Florida until September to make a decision what to do with all this extra money. And they decided to use the money to give some families that need help with kids going back to school. And the checks will arrive just in time for another one of our tax-free weeks, which is revolved around back to school supplies and computers and shoes and some clothing in certain stores you can buy tax-free. So kind of a nice little thing to help, jumpstart kids with a little confidence going into the school year, knowing they have everything they need to get started.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I remember when we were growing up, that was kind of a stressful time, like to figure out, like, am I going to be able to get new clothes? What are we going to be able to buy? And so I like this. And for people who aren't familiar, you mentioned a tax-free week. There was another one around the 4th of July for like summer stuff, like kayaks or whatever, that you could get tax-free. So since they're doing it tax-free, focused on back to school, that makes those checks go a lot further when you don't have to pay taxes on what you buy.
Absolutely. And they do the tax-free one every year that I remember. There's been the tax-free week for school supplies. There's a tax-free week for hurricane supplies. Florida does offer a lot of incentives throughout the year just to save its people a little bit of money.
And that's why it's the free state. Miranda, thank you so much. What are you up to this weekend?
I'm working on our bus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do a little, so if you don't know, my sister has a straight up obsession with Harry Potter. It's not healthy for a woman who's like, 35 years old. However, they're rehabbing this bus into a bus like from the Harry Potter movies. Do you want to give an Instagram account shout out?
Yeah, our Instagram, if you want to follow along with the build, is at the Night Bus Orlando. And the Night Bus is spelled KNIGHT, like a knight in shining armor.
I like it.
We're converting a double-decker London tour bus into the most magical Airbnb you have ever seen. So follow along.
Yeah, the videos are really cool. All right, Miranda, thank you so much.
Bye.
It's not even controversial anymore.
People know in Florida their freedoms are going to be respected.
If you like this video, make sure to become an unDivided subscriber to help us grow this mission to give common sense a comeback. You can do that in 2 ways, at patreon.com/undivided, or by becoming a contributor on my Locals community, brandykruse.locals.com. Thank you to the founding sponsor of unDivided, 1530 Mortgage. Visit them at 1530mortgage.com.